On this week's video fishing forecast, we have fluke reports from around the island, lots of striped bass north and south shores, porgies and bluefish and cod are here as well. This and our correspondents from around the island, all here at thefisherman.com. The fishing news is sponsored by these fine partners. If you haven't done so already, check out the current digital edition at thefisherman.com from your phone, tablet, desktop, or laptop. If you need help accessing the magazine online, click on the card in the top right for the video to show you how. The weather has been abysmal. Let's see if News 12 meteorologist Rich Von Olin has a good forecast for the weekend.
All right, thanks, Tim. Hey, anglers. Meteorologist Rich Von Olin here, News 12 Long Island Weather Center. Let's check the weekend forecast, and here we go again. Haven't been out too much, so the weather just hasn't been really cooperating, as we all know. It's just been kind of nasty, and water temps have been chilly. Look at that tongue of cold water coming from Nantucket Shoals down through the east end, even the canyons, 40s to near 50. You see that blue, and it's because it's been so chilly last few weeks. Just can't seem to warm things up. Saturday is going to be probably the better weekend day if you got some offshore stuff. There'll be a little roll early, just watch around Jones Inlet, Fire Island, Moriches, South to Shinnecock. There'll be some healthy 4 to 5 foot rollers coming in early and then settling down the afternoon. Looks a little better. And then it's a short window because by Sunday there's an easterly breeze. Look at the waves coming on back here from the east end to the west side with 4 to 7 feet, redeveloping with an easterly breeze. So again, early morning Saturday, it's not going to be terrific. Still some clouds, leftover showers perhaps, and then it settles down by midday, late afternoon. Little light northward breeze should be a little bit better, and then easterly starts to kick in on Sunday. So we'll get some sun. It'll be kind of nice, but the wind's going to start to crank up and the clouds start to come in, and Monday and Tuesday are going to be awful days. So if you can get it in, try to do it this weekend. High tides, North Shore, South Shore, again, throughout the morning hours. So, try to do some good fishing, get out there, be safe, of course, and use common sense, and just catch them up and do the best you can. Tim, back to you.
Be sure to check out the latest weather before heading out on News 12. Now, let's check in with Senior Editor Fred Galifaro.
Hey Tim, and another week where tough getting reports with all the wind we've had. Sometimes having to go back to the last day boats could get out, really like Thursday. So it's been almost a week, but we've still managed to come up with some reports. Out in Montauk, Mike over at Star Island said no one has been out since Thursday, or at least been able to get out to the south side. They did have a lot of fluke, up to 18 inches and 50, 60 feet of water. But very few, if any keepers. The keepers were out in 75 feet of water. A couple of boats did do well. They limited out there in 75 feet. And plenty of school bass, ditch planes, even along the town beaches over the past few days. In the Peconic, Steve over at WeGo said the bay's got plenty of porgies, just the wind's been keeping people from getting at them. Captain Mike Modica and his son Chris ignored the wind on Tuesday. They limited out with porgies. They also had a bunch of big sea bass, which of course had to be returned because the season doesn't open until next month. But they had fun catching them. A few keeper fluke coming from Green Lawns and the old fish factory and Bug Light, but that really hasn't taken hold as of Wednesday. Lots of school bass along the North Fork beaches, and that's the case pretty much all around the island. A lot of school bass in the reports. Down along the South Shore, blues are in the bays, some of the inlets, 3 to 10 pounds, still scattered, but I did hear from Brian Spreckles. He had a bunch on topwater plugs in one of the West End bays. That was on Monday. Billy over at Coombs, there's fluke in the State Channel from Capture to Tow Bay. Most are shorts, but Frank Gardo did have a 7.5 pounder while drifting near the Jones Beach piers. The one thing with the fluking, especially the State Channel, also a lot of school bass in the State Channel, slip gut's been pretty bad, and it's going to take some warmer water temperatures to kill that off. But if you can find a window with some clean water, you can do very well there in that area. Bass up to 30 inches are at all the bay bridges on clam chum. If you want to do that, some bigger fish and still in Raritan Bay and West Bank, most of those being trolled on spoons or mojos. And all the bay shorelines from Shinnecock to Jamaica Bay, school bass on soft plastics, swimming plugs, and hearing a lot of fish on popping plugs now too. So that's encouraging. Up in the Sound, same thing, good bass fishing, some fish falling into the slot, especially towards the western end of the Sound. And that's stretched, again, all the way out to the North Fork beaches. Porgy action being reported now in all the bays. Also along Sound beaches, hearing good reports from Western Sound beaches all the way out to the North Fork, actually. Fluke starting to settle into Smithtown Bay, and that fishing's only going to get better, particularly with the warmer weather now settling in and water temperatures rising. Jim over at Miller Place Bait and Tackle, he talked about good porgy fishing from shore and boat on worms and clams. And he said Halleck Landing, there's been bass to 30 inches, early mornings on SP minnows, and also being taken on sandworms. That's about it, Tim, for this week.
We're going counterclockwise this week, and starting from the Long Island Sound, we have Captain Mark McGowan from Cow Harbor Bait and Tackle.
Hey, fishing remains red hot here in the Northport Huntington Bay area, all the way down to Smithtown into Cold Spring Harbor. You got a lot of small bass on the hook. Artificials, worms, clams seem to be doing the trick. We've got adult bunker moving in, so that's fantastic. Remember, we're coming up to the new moon phase. The new moon is going to be looking for mantis shrimp starting to emerge with these rising water temperatures, as well as small bunker and worm hatches should happen. So that should be red hot for guys that love the saltwater fly, or if you're doing spinning, that's fantastic for you boat guys out there. Fluke are working the shallows. Fluke keep coming in. You see a lot of shorts in the mix, but I think as the water warms up, you're going to see these larger ones really put on the bite. So keep your eye out for there. We still got a lot of small bait showing up. Grass shrimp, spearants, red hot. If you're lucky enough, you'll be out there. You catch a nice weakfish. These smaller bass, they're really keyed in on small profiles. If you stick to like 3.5 to 5 1/4, you should be right on the mark there. Look for these warming suns to continue to heat up the back areas, and as the tide comes in, whether it's the evening or early morning, the daytime, those fish are going to really liven up and get red hot. Also, it's good to know the porgies really moved in. They're spawning, they're big, they're fat, they're chunky, and they're fun to eat. I wish everybody tight lines. Until next week, I'll see you again.
Off the Hudson, north of Kingston, Raul Ortiz, the urban angler, sent these pretty shots of Chris Brown and his son Christopher with these beautiful bass that they released in this scenic location. His son had his personal best, and as a bonus, the fish was tagged, and young Christopher can't wait to find out the history of this fish. Then further down the Hudson, a few nights ago, the urban angler himself found some schoolies in Brooklyn. Check out that photo, and you can see why he is the urban angler. On Tuesday, Raul had some fun with the family in Queens on the last of the outgoing tide and found a bunch of schoolies that they released. That's what I call a good day at school. We continue from the west with Mike Sentry.
What can I say? High winds, snow, hail, you name it. I don't know what's going to happen for the month of May, but I will say this, the high winds are here to stay. In the meantime, friends like Brian, he's been getting out there. He's been slamming the striped bass on plugs, live bait, and trolling. With that said, Phil has been catching them also on the troll and live lining bunker. Chuck Tillman Manny was out there today, Wednesday. He's been putting a hurting on these striped bass. Some really nice ones too. Bass between 44 inches to 54 inches were caught this morning. So Chuck, exceptional fisherman. The water, well, what can I say about the water? It has not broken 60 degrees yet, and it probably won't till somewhere in around mid-June. This is optimal condition for the striped bass to stay in our area. So the striped bass season is looking to be one of the better ones for the last couple of decades, in my opinion. Bluefish, plentiful, can't complain about those. So get out there, guys, make some memories, and stay safe. Back to you, Tim.
Joe Ben Savenga fished Jamaica Bay yesterday morning on the dropping tide. He released 5 fish to 16 pounds, and the hot meal was a 1-ounce bucktail. Marinas are open, and Kale's Family Boating Center is ready to get you out on the water. There's no better place to practice social distancing than with the family enjoying the outdoors. Check out a Sea Pro powered by Suzuki. Low rates make it the perfect time to buy. Visit kalesfamilyboatingcenter.com for more information. Chris Ludwig has filed this report.
Hey, thanks, Tim. What's going on, guys? Sorry about the darkness. I'm sitting up in my car here, about to head out. Anyway, this last week's been pretty consistent for me. It's been the last 3 hours of the incoming tide and just bluefish, bluefish, bluefish all around. Been throwing this, the Daiwa SP Minnow and Mother of Pearl. As you can see, it's been getting beat up pretty bad. But other than a split ring failure, we're holding up rather well. I can't even call it a failure. I mean, it's been through loads of fish already. But the first 2 nights produced some pretty large bluefish, and the nights following up until yesterday were just cocktail blues. So still action, light tackle, can't beat it. The striped bass have been popping their heads back up, so that's good to see. I'm looking forward to be chasing them this week. Anyway, hope you're all doing well. Looking forward to see you out there, and take care.
Here is Gage Simon with his report.
Thanks, Tim. Fishing on the South Shore is really starting to heat up, and so is the water temp. Mother Nature and the elements have not made it easy for captains to run the gauntlet and fish their favorite spots in the ocean, but there is plenty action to be had in the Bay Area. Captain Ed of the Nose Tackle was out recently catching smaller bass with no reports of any giant fish caught offshore. The good news is the bluefish have made a nice return to the bay, gorging on the abundance of bait in the area. James was out this week and landed this beautiful 12 to 15 pound bluefish on a green SP minnow on the top of the outgoing tide off of Reynolds Channel. Bass are hitting soft plastic, clams, and bunker. The keeper fluke have been caught in 5 to 12 feet of water, hitting bucktails and worms in the back bay. Finally, as the weather gets better, so will the intel from the great captains and anglers that fish the Jones Inlet. Remember to support your local tackle shops. They need you now more than ever, and they are fully stocked with bait like you see here. Compliments of Mark and Phil at Cow Harbor Bait and Tackle, where I get all my fishing supplies. Wishing everybody bent rods, tight lines, and I'll see you out on the water.
With our fly and freshwater report, we have Paul McCain from River Bay Outfitters.
Hello, Tim. Well, here we are, May, and it was an incredible week. 70 degrees on one day, snow on Wednesday. It was unbelievable. Wind blowing. It was not an easy day to get out with a fly rod. Saltwater, terrific fishing all around the island. Get the right tides, fish right through the tide, on the flats, in the surf, in the inlets if you can get to them. It's been pretty good. And bluefish are starting to show up too, which is really a lot of fun. Now, I've been doing freshwater fishing. Mother's Day, I asked my wife, what do you want to do? She goes, let's go to the Connect Quad. So I made reservations. I got there an hour early. The place was packed with hikers and bikers and everybody. Everybody was there. It seems like a nice day. Everybody had to be there. But my wife and I went. We ended up getting up in the upper beats. Nobody else was there. Not a lot of fish, but what we did have were big. I landed one that had to be at least 22 inches. It's a tight area to fish, but it was great to get out. She had a terrific time. So hopefully next week the weather's going to be better, and tight lines, everybody.
When the weather cooperates and you can get outside on the South Shore, there are cod to be found like this one caught yesterday on the Fire Island Reef by Vince of All Pro Tackle. With more from the South Shore, we have Captain Al Lorenzetti.
Hey Tim, just giving you the report. Fire Island fished over the weekend, had cod and pollock on some of the nearshore wrecks. The 100-foot so wrecks in that area, all producing really well. And it was a lot of fun. There's a lot of fluke in the back bay areas. And the only hard part about that is there's a tremendous amount of slip gut around, so it makes it a little bit tough. So you got to kind of wait till the wind abates a little bit and it should settle back down the bottom. And sometimes you just find an area where the current pushes it away and it cleans up. So you got to kind of work for what you want to catch. A lot of small bass still around any kind of structure. You put a chum pot down with clam in it and you're going to catch some striped bass. And also, blowfish are back. So, a lot of things to do. That's it for this week, Tim. Talk to you soon. Be well.
I have a Moriches Bay report from Alex Jolly. He and his cousin have been working the schoolies on the flats with Mad Darters and SP minnows. They also have been catching decent fluke in the bay as well. The fish seem to like hitting the teasers tipped with a 3-inch gulp or small strips of squid. Now let's check in with Mike Dean from Shinnecock.
Thanks a lot, Tim. Hey, everyone. Hope everyone's doing all right. The striped bass bite has been a little bit off with all this wind and kind of crazy weather patterns. There are a few around still taking soft plastics, Kettle Creek Outfitters, paddle tail, Bass Assassins, just, imitating. There are some spearing around. The exciting news is there's a lot of big blues that showed up this past weekend. They were not going after topwater stuff with the water a little bit colder. They were a little sluggish, going after mag darters, SP minnows, those kind of swimming plugs. There have been some bigger bass at night for those braving out till all hours. Also some fluke catches, a little bit close to Shinnecock, fluke and porgies in Peconic as well. And Shinnecock Canal has been pretty good. It's just, kind of cold weather, not too conducive to get out there and just enjoy an afternoon of fishing. But this weekend, no excuse not to get out there and chase these fish. They're around, and hopefully the water's going to warm up. That top water bite for the stripers and the newly arrived bluefish should be around. We got a small blue this afternoon, so it was cool to get the first one of the year, and hopefully they'll be a lot bigger throughout the season. Take care, everyone. Talk to you next week.
Steigercraft boats, built by people who fish our waters. Serious anglers choose Steigercraft for their 40 years of boat building experience right here in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. Visit steigercraft.com for a dealer near you. Finally, we have a new correspondent, Captain Sebastian Head out of Southold.
Thanks, Tim. The striper bite's still been strong here on the North Fork at all the local rips. Most of the fish are right around that kind of 20 to 26 inch range, a lot of 24 inch fish. I have heard of some keepers being caught. There was a guy that caught a 34 inch fish that I heard of. He let him go to go keep breeding. And there was another one that caught a 32 inch fish on the night bite. Fluking has still been slow, a little spell of cold weather. It wasn't great for the fluking, but fluke being caught here and there on the sandbars, mostly shallow water, kind of 30 feet. The bay is absolutely loaded with porgies over here. The sound side is still starting to pick up, a little slower than the bays. Hopefully this week the wind will die down and give us a chance to get back out there. So tight lines, everybody.
If you're looking to get outside and try a little fishing with the kids, blowfish are here with abundance and are easy to catch. Check out the card in the top right to learn more about blowfishing. If you'd like to be part of our weekly video fishing forecast, we're looking for social media savvy anglers for hyper-local reporting from around the New York Metro and Long Island area, especially anglers that fish the beach. So if you're a captain, tackle shop, or just an avid angler, contact me at libayrat@gmail.com. Remember, like our video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and tap on the bell to be notified instantly when we post a new video on YouTube. And of course, be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine to be part of the Dreamboat and Kayak Clash contest. Check out this video's description on YouTube for all the related links and more information. And please support our correspondents by visiting their websites and social media pages. Let's hope for some better weather this weekend, and special thanks to Wilcor, who was kind enough to replace my favorite travel cooler that I bought when I was in Montana. See you all next week right here at thefisherman.com.